All right, we're here. We're live. Session 44. Good
Yay.
luck, everyone. This is going to be just terrible. Just bad. Just
Goodbye, everyone.
yes.
Final words.
Yes.
Change the
Farewell.
world.
So, last session was an interlude because Lumi was kidnapped and held ransom by people unknown to us, still remaining anonymous. But we have paid the fine and she's back with us.
Yeah, all good.
Safely returned to the fold.
Yes. So we had an interlude session, which took us over to what's going on with the Drome forces and the Brailish forces. We got to see Callie's brother, Hally's Riath, and we learned that he has a daughter that he calls Kali Nina, or that he named Kali Nina, and she's like a red, orangish dragonborn. Of course, Hallie is a Eberron dragon shard, dragonborn. That's a lot of dragon.
He's a Kyber shard.
Sorry, yes. Kyber shard. Dragon shard, dragonborn. There we go. They successfully, as different characters, took over Castle Arcane, which was essentially the previous king's private residence and became more of a historical place after the previous king was assassinated and Gavin took over as king. And he rushed a bunch of forces out there because he figured, this is the next spot that the Drome forces are going to take. Well, they managed to do so with minimal casualties. They essentially, for all intents and purposes, had a rather peaceful takeover. There was some fighting, but it was very quick and very decidedly in Drome's favor. So that's happening alongside of the current story. All interludes are like that. So this portion of story takes place right after session 43, where we arrive at the Enlaeus estate. The party is escorted to the Enlaeus common room in the manor house, and one of the butlers is talking to the party, asking where this other guy is, the other person that was with him, and points to this picture that shows somebody that has a striking resemblance to Celica. And we ended the session with her saying brother as tears rolled down her face. There's also some strange red or crystal, maybe ruby, dragonborn with the party. So let me get us a little bit of music going. Make sure it's not too loud. Hopefully it's not. Whoop, not that one. Nope. Neither of those. There we go. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It got moved to the wrong section. What the hell?
By in the party, you mean in the picture in the party.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
yes. Okay, I guess it's not going to move. There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, some nice relaxing music.
Yes. Nice.
Smooth.
Is this not relaxing music?
This is D&D lo-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I just wasn't expecting it.
Oh, okay.
Just gonna draw Saw reading over a book
Yes.
in your apartment late at night.
Or staring longingly into an empty flask.
Yeah.
So, Celica, you come to the realization that you just said brother, and there's tears coming down your face. You feel really sad, more sad than normal. And you don't know why, and you don't recognize two people in this picture, in this graph. Look at this graph. What do you do?
I don't know. Who are these people?
Okay. Well, Rhiannon, Sa, and Akasha, you bear witness to this, and before you guys can really say much of anything, the door behind Sa just busts open. Whoa, there's two doors in one.
What?
Oh my god. There we go.
actual door.
Is that even legal?
No, it's not. I don't know how that happened. All right. So the door busts open, and Gaius and Laius barges in. Sister! It is good to see you! And he just comes over and, like, bear hugs, slaps you on the back enough to kind of so knock the wind out a little bit. And he's followed by one of the Enlaus family guardsmen. Not that he needs it.
I guess you would have tried to hug back, but when you get caught, someone gets their arms around your arms and you're like stuck.
Yeah, you can't. You
Yeah.
like around the waist, kind of like hand finagling. Yeah. And look at you, you've got new friends. What happened to your other friends? The metal one.
Metal one. She fell in Sharon.
Is she injured?
Oh no, poor Gaius.
Rihanna will just shake her head.
Oh,
She's not coming back.
well. I hope she enjoys her stay there in Sharn.
He is too pure. Nobody tell him.
And I thought, you ignorance is bliss, you sweet fool.
She was a worthy follower of the host.
Indeed, she was. It's
And
good that you still wear the medallion she gave you.
yes. And he pulls it out and shows it off proudly. He looks to his left, and there's Akasha, whom you have not met, and he says, "Well met, young princess. Gaius and Laius at your service." And he makes a deep bow.
Random will do the introductories for him.
And can Akasha tell like where they're from? What would be like a good way to greet them?
He's very clearly a paladin of the sovereign host. He's born and raised here on the estate, essentially. He doesn't really have much of a placeable accent. He, much like Rhiannon, there's not an unlearned accent, but as we have just seen, he's a few bubs short of the LED sign.
He's all strength, no brawn. He's all brawn, but somewhat few brains.
He's the spoon in the knife drawer.
Yes.
He's open, but nobody's in there.
He's a little bit of a himbo.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, that's good. Akasha likes himbos. She's gonna greet him politely.
He's basically, just think of like Robert Baratheon, Bobby B.
Yeah.
He-
I can
he-
hear you cackling.
He holds his hand out for yours. You know, in the gesture where he's supposed to take your hand and kiss the back of it.
She'll accept that.
He takes it and he just shakes it vigorously. Like, he's kind of crushing your hand a little bit.
She's just entertained. Like,
You might want to work on your grip strength.
she's gonna, I guess she'd be like, would you like to redo it? And she's gonna hold her hand out.
Why, sure. And he goes in for another
Aggressively
shake.
shake his hand.
There we go. First impressions are always the impressions that are first.
Agreed.
And he backs away without turning his back to you, and then he turns to Sa, and he looks kind of up and down. He pauses, continues to study, unsure. Uncertainty fills his eyes for just a moment. And he goes in just for a bear hug.
Yes! Alright. So, yeah, she's just like looking at him very weirdly, like, what are we doing here? And then whenever he comes in for the hug, she's just like, yes, okay. So she saw how vigorously he shook Akasha's hand. So
Yes.
I'm gonna do a strength check.
It'll be in athletics.
Athletics?
Mm-hmm.
Good, I'm better in that. That's a 25.
There's a moment of pause where the both of you are trying to squeeze each other into oblivion. And you realize that you're having difficulty breathing as we enter this contest of strength. He got a
Yeah.
26.
Oh man. It's
Damn.
okay. I can hold my breath for a long time.
Yes. So he backs away. He releases you. He backs away. Big woman,
Tiny man.
I approve of you. Your strength shows great virtue and honor.
I'm not so sure about that, buddy, but thanks. She's gonna pat his head.
And this is Rihanna will like introduce him as well.
Well met, sir. May fortune favor you, and the winds sail.
And that's
Ah, she will give him like a sailor's salute.
He will mimic that, but does poorly.
Okay, so she's just gonna take his hands and put it in the right position.
Ah, like this. Thank you. Well, it is good to see you all. I am sure you came for a reason, though. And he turns back to Rhiannon.
This is all prepared.
I'm sorry. What?
Are we prepared? Tiavala sauce.
Ah, oh, that. Well, I don't know. But we can find out. And he motions over to the butler. Go find out if we are ready or not. And let her know. Not to get all political or anything, so I'll you
We
do well.
see you soon. Just walk out.
Yeah. The Inlaeus guard here, the family guard, gives a quick bow. You can see the frustration on his face.
Yeah. Worst job in the house.
Yeah.
Uh,
Meanwhile, before we get to anything else, we've got to address some things. So
yeah, I was
I'm
about to
taking-
say, like,
I'm taking Sab out of here. Bye, Sab.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, Sab.
Hi.
Get some bad news.
What's that?
Bad things are happening.
I mean, usually.
More bad than normal.
Really?
Yes. Much worse
Elika
than normal.
usually makes things very bad.
You are currently. Here, let me make sure that this is.
I'm sorry, you've disintegrated.
Yes, you have disintegrated.
Oh, hey. One less thing to worry about.
All right, double click your token.
Well, this isn't where I left my collie.
This is not.
I know I didn't park out here.
No. But you and Barrick are both on the ground. Kali is at 3 hit points currently.
Who's Barrick?
This person over here is Barrick.
I don't see a person. Okay, now I see a
Yeah.
person.
Okay.
I had to move the token.
Oh, okay. You both are on the ground, and it looks like you have been fighting each other pretty brutally for some time. He is very wounded, and you are very wounded. His
And I have no memory of this.
Right. You are dagger in hand at your side, and his longsword is kind of knocked away from him, and you both are out of breath. You can see visible confusion with him as well.
I think the first thing Collie would do is look at the dagger she is holding and see if it has blood on it.
It does. There's blood on both blades.
but his is knocked away from the mud.
Yeah, his
What
is
what
at
is
his side.
Barrick's attire? His accoutrements?
Very stately. You've seen similar colors on some of the guards here, but his is definitely more of nobility. However, it is covered in mud currently, and what would normally be a ceremonial sword is not a ceremonial sword. But you can tell kind of he doesn't seem like the kind of person that would just have a ceremonial sword anyways. He only carries the real thing.
And do I have any sense of if I still have spell slots?
No, you
or if
don't.
I've already used them?
You've expended them all.
Including the one that I get from the wand as a refill one, I would assume.
Yes, you are fully spent.
Interesting. What about my ring of spell storing?
That had the counterspell in it, right?
It had counterspell, shield, and I forget the other first level, but it was a utility spell.
Okay. You still have your counterspell, but shield
Okay.
would have definitely been used.
Kalia's gonna sort of lever herself up into a sitting position.
Everything hurts,
Looks-
especially your head.
Looks down at the dagger, sort of does a quick once over of herself to address that there are no critically like bleeding out sort of wounds that need to be tended to.
All right, so you're looking yourself over, and yes, you are bleeding, currently taking 2 bleed damage per round. You have bite marks kind of all over you, very large jaws that have bitten down on you, crushing some of the the Ebron stone skin that you have, but most notably in the leg, where you assume that you're bleeding from a cut artery.
Okay, so I had a potion of healing previously.
Yes.
Do I still have that?
Yes.
I'm gonna look at him, and before I do anything else, because talking will not advance around immediately,
Right.
do you have any idea what either of us are doing out here?
He looks around and he shakes his head. No, I don't.
And he certainly doesn't have teeth that look like they could do as he's talking. what has been
Correct.
done.
And you can see that there are bite wounds on him as well, though none of his look like they are bleeding as bad as yours. He's definitely bleeding, but not 2 around. His is more like a 1 around.
Knowing what I know, do they look in any way like they belong to, say, another dragonborn or a dragon? Is this a check I'd need to make?
I would say give me a Arcana check on that.
Okay. Well, that's a 2+1, so I'm gonna go with no.
They could be, but their whatever it was somewhat serrated. So if so, it would have to be one of the more vicious types of dragons, one that
Okay.
would rely less on magic and more on brutality.
So I can drink a potion as a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
And is perception an active check, or is that going to take my action, or is that something I can just do?
You can just do.
Okay. Definitely going to look around and see if there's evidence of whatever did this. That's significantly better than the 2. That's a 16 plus 3 for 19 perception.
All right. So looking around, there's feet prints all through this mucky mud area. There's portions where it looks like the barrack was kind of slapped into the mud and knocked back, and same for you. You can see kind of like drag marks or where you got hit so hard that you slid some. But there's no evidence of anything other than you and him. Only yours and his footprints are here in this mud. and
Which
the
is especially
dragons.
strange since Kali tends to fly whenever she's in combat.
Yes.
She's gonna gingerly flex her wings as she gets the potion out.
It hurts very much. And I should say, like, your feet prints aren't as prominent, but you have more drag marks in the mud.
Okay. So that's 2d6 plus 4, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
5, 6. So 15 total.
All right.
So I'm up to 18 hit. I'll remove that. Do you think you could stand?
He's already in the process of doing so, and he's basically ripping a portion of his clothing off to apply a bandage around a portion of his arm that's bleeding, so he stops his bleeding.
So what kind of armor is he wearing, if any?
Not really any. You see that there's a chain shirt underneath of
Okay.
where he kind of ripped off some of his clothing, but
So
nothing.
does he
notable.
have the general feel of somebody who uses magic?
No.
Okay. So he doesn't appear like he was armored for battle intentionally.
No.
And he doesn't appear to be a caster of some sort.
Correct.
And we have no memory of what's going on.
No.
So I guess Kali's mostly going to look around and try and figure out where they are. And she obviously sees the wall over here.
Mm-hmm.
Does the area we're in, is it just dead, like decrepit, or is it all burned?
It's dead or dying. It looks like it's decayed and rotting.
Are you someone who lives here?
Yes. I am
Was
Lord Beric Inleus. I am the head of the Inleus household. And
So you are Rhiannon's sire, then?
yes. I don't remember why I came this direction.
Do you remember what happened over here to cause this to look like this? Or is this new?
No, this is not new. It's been happening for some time now. Our Magerites, druids, have been unable to determine the source of whatever is killing our trees off. But it is something we've been looking into for a couple months now, at least.
Do you have any method to summon assistance or call for one of your retainers or the like?
Yes, I've already done so. They should be here shortly.
Then do you propose to wait here for them to arrive, or shall we start heading back ourselves?
Let's wait here. I have a sneaking suspicion that whatever's going on here, so long as we're here, we're safe.
So Kali is going to definitely make another perception check at this point, though I think it would actually be is it survival or nature to figure out what made a track? I know survival is for chasing tracks.
Survival would also be able to tell what made it,
Okay.
or it would tell you if you need to make a nature or arcana check to derive what it is.
Okay, so I need to make the survival check first.
Yeah.
Alright, so 17 plus 0 for 17.
All right. And you're checking the tracks in the ground.
Yes, the things that look like they belong to not us, specifically.
Well, that's the thing. There's only yours and his.
Even near the drag marks, there's nothing to the sides of them.
There's nothing else there. And this place is so muddy that these tracks don't stay for, more than an hour or two.
Okay, so this is like really wet mud.
Yeah.
she's going to try to consciously get Zia to show up.
All right.
Is he around, or has he been essentially desummoned?
So you're reaching out to him, and you're not getting any response back, which suggests that he has been desummoned somehow.
Either by dropping to 0 or
Yeah,
being dispelled or whatever.
right. So while you figure this out, I'm going to jump back over to everybody else.
Absolutely.
All right, we're back.
Hey.
Hey, welcome back.
So you guys are looking around. You know, Barrick has made his little introduction, and he's left, and we are waiting to find out if...
I mean, guy.
Or sorry, yes, guys. If everyone is ready for Terrify Lestas. And you guys find yourselves wondering where Callie is, wherever she went.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that before.
Is it possible to see if we can find her?
Yeah, she's not here in this room, and this gentleman here doesn't remember seeing her any time within the past few minutes, so she hasn't entered this room with you.
Alright, so we'll ask then whereabouts is. Well, she's gonna ask where's her family, like where's father, mother.
Well, your dad, I believe, was out on his walk. As for Lady Celine, I believe she is over in the chapel. I'm not certain at the moment who or where. Hey, hang on. Okay, and he when he stops, he kind of looks off as if he's listening to somebody. And you know, Rhiannon, that's normally some sort of communication to the staff here for either something that's urgent or just a general command. But you see the look that he's making, and it is of worry. And he says that the four of you may want to head with the guards. They're headed over to the forest on the estate.
Let's go.
Okay.
So, that said, there are some guards rounding the corner from back here.
Ooh, Salah.
Yes, so Guard Captain Sala and a family mage. A couple of estate guards who look like they were sparring, and Summer.
Boy.
Summer.
Oh boy.
And the lot of them are headed down this alley, or not really alley, but this tunnel. Gut's not moving his character.
Well, I was there for a reason, but yeah.
Are you not going to go with the party?
I was just going to give like a last look at the picture and then leave.
What do you want to see about the picture?
I mean,
Take a closer look at it, I guess.
yeah, see like if I can, I don't know, figure out who painted it or who the two extra people might be or anything to that effect.
Well, there's only one extra person, and that's the one that looks a lot like you. As far as the artist, no, you don't know who this artist is, but you could probably find out when you have time to question.
Okay. Alright, well, I'll look at it for like a minute and then I'll just go.
All right, yeah, you kind of hear the clanking of armor as they're all passing. I need to remember to lock this darn thing into place. There we go. All right, so you guys move your tokens, and now we'll move the most important tokens here.
I guess this thing Random will see when she sees Solo is what's happened.
Urgent call from your father.
Oh.
And we're moving at a pretty good clip here.
Oh, there's an actual gate. Just the lift cells over the wall, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna open up a small section here.
Cool.
Right here.
Oh,
All right. So right over there. So Kali,
As they showed up, Kali would have had hand out on the Eldritch Blast gesture
Oh,
so
until she saw who it was. and
before
confirmed.
all of that,
Okay.
as you guys are approaching, it looks like these two have been fighting each other for some time. Kali is, well, she's, what's your hit point total now? It's 17?
18 out of 80.
Jesus.
So she's all
That's
cut
after
up.
healing.
She looks like she's been bitten up by a large creature, and Barrick is about the same. He's got cuts and gashes all over, bite marks and everything, and he's not looking great. You can see that he's ripped a portion of his shirt off to tie up a wound on his arm to stop the bleeding. Sala approaches and asks, "What in the hell's happened here?" And Summer's also
Kali-
approaching.
Kali no longer has the hand pointed directly at them, but as they count, she would have looked back to Barrick to make sure that Barrick thinks they're okay. The people who are not her party members.
Yeah, he's already about to address them.
Okay, as in, like, she was looking for a nod before she completely lowered the hand.
Yeah, he would have given it.
Okay.
What the hell's happened here?
That is what we're trying to find out. By the looks of it, we have been fighting each other, but I'm incapable of biting that large of an area. And I do believe this is the same for her.
That would be correct. So, and Kali has been very carefully in her other hand holding the dagger that had the blood on it.
Yes.
I'm saying, so if this is not yours that is upon it, then it should be whatever we were fighting.
What were you fighting? You were with us on the airskip. How did you end up here?
I have no memory of this. When did you last see me?
This
Uh,
morning.
like right outside the manor, as far as I can remember.
And
Yeah, using key mind. Yeah, using key mind. Would that be correct at the gates of the manor at the estate?
Yeah.
the estate
that's when we
gates would have
last
been
seen
the
her.
last time you saw her. And I have to note here that obviously this is not how your forest normally is, Rhiannon.
No.
It's normally quite lush. This is absolutely like sopping wet mud. It's dying and decayed, and overall looks like it has just become a swamp almost overnight to you because you haven't been here for quite some time.
I suppose either Arcana or Nature check would do it.
Nature could.
Okay. I got a +4 in Nature. Anyone got anything higher?
Nature? No, I have a 3.
Yeah, I have a +1.
Star, do you perhaps have some sort of healing magic prepared that you could tend to? And
Yeah,
she looks to Barrick and says, Lord, sir? Barrick?
Barrick is fine.
Yeah, I'll do cure wounds on both of them. They'll heal 9 each.
Okay.
Grant's gonna raise an
10.
eyebrow
10
at
is
Barrick
fine.
only. Yeah, Randall will definitely raise an eyebrow at Barrick only. It's the first time at least she would have noticed him allow anyone to address him by first name that he's only recently met.
Can I do a medicine or survival check to see their wounds and what they look like?
Yes.
Which one? Survival?
Yes. Well, medicine for their wounds, survival to determine if you can figure out
Okay.
what
Well,
made them.
that's a crit. I'll use
Can't crit
okay, and
checks.
that's I know, but it's just a 20. 17 24 for survival and a 22 for medicine.
Okay. That's what I was trying to get as the total. It's a large beast, whatever's done it, and they've been bitten several times. In some cases, it looks like rapid succession because of how close the bites are to each other. Almost like they were bit and then it let go and then bit again. So there's only like an inch or two of a gap between the bites, which suggests that whatever it is not only large, it would be large enough to make tracks, and it would most likely be some sort of long-necked sort of creature that is capable of quickly biting, letting go, and biting like a snake or something.
All right.
But there
I'll
are
ask-
no tracks nearby other than Barracks and
Yeah.
Callie's. There are their footprints on the ground, but there's also marks where they have been kind of knocked to the ground and slid around.
So where were you guys fighting at?
Well,
Based upon the drag marks, it seems to have been here.
and we were both on our backs just about only a few moments ago. I was over here, and he points to over here where Kali would have been.
There's probably still the impression of her wings on the ground there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just take a look around. Like I'm just wandering all over the place looking. While
Kali hands you her dagger that has the blood on it. Since you seem to be very well versed in insurance.
Okay. That I'm
Is
gonna
there
taste
anything interesting about this?
it.
Your first go-to is to taste it.
Just to taste it. I don't swallow it. I just put it on my tongue.
It tastes like blood.
All right, I spit it back out. Yeah, it's blood.
Perhaps you could, I don't know, figure something more out from it?
It's spicy blood.
I think she means like what kind of creature the blood came from.
I got an 18 on a nature check. If that helps with anything.
If you want to
Sadly-
try and get
Right.
Sadly, there's not much else to go off of. You come to the same conclusion that whatever made this must be snake-like or maybe serpentine of some sort, able to strike quickly and make rapid bites in succession.
possible to tell what kind of creature that would be? Like
I just told you.
Snake-like.
I mean,
Snake-like
I
or
mean-
serpentine.
I mean a specific creature.
No, that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Anything that is snake-like or serpentine could fall under that category if it is large enough.
When was the last time any of you were aware of Barracks? She has like a long pause because it's weird to her to refer to somebody who seems to be nobility by just first name.
First name, yeah.
Barracks whereabouts?
Was
We've only just arrived today.
so
Specifically, she was like addressing it to the guards.
okay. So what's the question again?
When was the last time any of you were aware of Barracks whereabouts?
Not too long ago, Captain Sala will say. He was taking his normal walk, in which he tends to make rounds, going around the estate, and Barrick is nodding.
Are any of
we didn't
the-
expect him back for, another hour or so.
Are any of the, because there's obviously like all these trees, are any of the buildings or wherever you have people at close enough by that someone might have heard something? Can't imagine it was quiet.
No, not really that close by. Not close enough unless something that was extremely loud. This is a kind of like a private, sectioned off portion of the estate for this small forest. For you, Rhiannon, you notice that Barrick's right hand is shaking. And when you notice it, he looks down and steadies it. You're muted.
I don't want to do it, but can I do an insight check or something?
Yes.
That is a 19 total.
Something definitely has bothered him. He doesn't seem off as in he's like hiding anything, but he's definitely been shaken.
Yeah,
Not
it's not like,
stirred.
yeah, not like him to shake like that at all.
No.
Perhaps Akasha might be of some help with this. Man, I would suggest to Kali and Barrick. If
Have
there's a gap in our memory, then perhaps she can feel it.
have her check with your sire first. And Kali's looking around as she is starting to think a little deeper. Perhaps you could look for any signs of whatever I might have done. I can tell that I have expended multiple spells, but I don't immediately see any effect of them.
That's well. Okay. I can send Colin up and look around, but I suppose doing something like detect magic would reveal anything, because that would be
Has-
only one. permanent
There's
spell.
Vex, there's no like obvious fireball spot
No.
or
There's
stone-shaped thing.
The only signs of combat that remain are the blood on your blades.
So, Kali's spell list is not very extensive for combat spells. So the only thing she might have cast that could have made sense for her to have had to cast all of her spells would be Greater Invisibility, but then one of them should not have been wounded if that was the case. There's a single target spell called Psychic Lance she has. And then there's Dispel Magic and Counterspell, but the counterspell in her spell storing ring is not used. So Counterspell doesn't make sense. And then there's Banishment.
Another thing is, Summer's been very quiet. Why did he even get called to come along? Why not Yorovith or someone else?
So Summer's been kind of just watching back and forth, letting Sala and Barrick do all the talking. He's kind of taking everything in. Summer arrived with several of the Inlaeus guards and one of the Inlaeus mages. And he's been kind of staying with them. So just imagine that there's about 5 or 6 other people there. And when you comment to him, he kind of snaps his attention back too. He looks like he was kind of looking off, staring in the distance. And when you catch his attention again, he gives a kind of moderately polite bow. He doesn't really take his eyes off of yours, though. He kind of keeps his head straight. And he says, I just happened to be there at the right time as they made the call out to the guards. So, of course, I would want to check on Lord Barrick.
And which direction was he staring in?
Past you, like over your shoulder.
Like in the direction of Tia Velastas?
just in the direction that's past your shoulder. No place in particular.
Oh. I want to turn and look, but that would be a bit strange, I think. Well, I guess you can just send Cohen to fly over that way without having to turn around.
Okay. So Cohen's scouting about but sees nothing amiss.
Rhiannon, do you remember any sort of noise or any sort of anything really at the point that you last realized I was with you? And now that you are thinking about it, once I was not.
Hmm.
So there's nothing that stands out in your memory. No.
Not even with keen mind.
No.
Damn. Looks like we'll need a kasha.
So you remembered us at the gates, yes?
At the
That was
gates.
it. Beric, when you were on your walk, where were you at when you last remembered?
Just a moment. Lumi, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Rhiannon, were you mentioning that in game or out of character?
Out of character, because I already mentioned it in game.
Okay. So Akasha, yeah, that your name was brought up as possibly being able to help with their memories. I'll let you
Would that be
respond.
one of the Emerald Dream songs?
Yeah, if you wanted to do that whenever it's time for them to go to sleep, because that's really the only way it works is if they're going to go to sleep.
Right.
But I don't think they understand the full extent of your abilities yet, so that might be something you have to let them know. But before we do that, really quickly, Beric says that he doesn't remember exactly when he came over to this portion of forest. He remembers heading to it, but not actually getting here. So, Akasha, what do you say when you are brought into the conversation about your ability to possibly help with the memories?
Would kind of out of character, would she be thinking about the time she was used to kind of try to help everybody figure out what was going on with Tommy, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
She's gonna try. I guess she would explain like that she wants to help, but you know, her abilities are limited in that regard. With that, everybody would need to be asleep.
No. So she clarifies that people have to be asleep for her to be able to access the memories and help that kind of stuff out.
Huh.
Whatever was here that we messed with, it either dispelled or banished and she does, or defeated Zia as well, because I cannot bring Zia forth. Zia may know what it was, but until I am able to rest for some time, I cannot bring Zia back.
Seems to be a good reason to be sleeping then.
I'm gonna say, does that mean we should all try to go to sleep?
Well, Kali can get the spell slot in a short rest. So
Yeah, and it's kind of early noon, so not quite sleep time.
But did any of you see or sense anything on the way here? There was Beric said he had some sense that if we tried to leave, that something might interfere with us.
He turns back and says, Lord Beric, please.
Oh my god, what is going on here? Insight, please.
I think Kali would roll an insight there too because now she's confused.
I'll roll one too. No.
I can aid with your insight.
Okay. That's a 19 plus 3 on the advantage one. It was a 12 plus 3 before, so that is a 22.
All right, he is definitely in shock. He seems to have a kind of haze or dazed air about him as you're paying close attention to his mannerisms.
Yeah, so
He-
different than duplicity, just sort of
Yeah.
dumbfounded.
Yes.
Shock. Good old shock.
Yeah.
Which it is
I,
nigh impossible for Rhiannon to imagine him experiencing.
Yes.
I think perhaps we should
Head inside.
adjourn to elsewhere, yes.
He nods to that. And
Saw,
good.
could I borrow your arm?
Just quickly, with Colin flying overhead, does he notice any tracks other than ours or any that came in?
no.
Dang.
I will just go to pick Callie up.
Well,
The guards will follow after Lord Barrick, and Summer
Yes.
will be at his back as well, kind of
I don't
to his back right.
Just princess style.
I don't know what it looks like when Kali blushes, but Kali blushes. I don't know if she gets more red or less red.
I would assume that she gets more of a deep colored red.
Well, there you go.
Rhiannon will definitely keep a close eye on Summer and
It's just like Starry when she gets like nervous happy, just the tip of her tail starts wagging.
Just the tip of Kali's tail
Perfect.
starts wagging.
Yeah.
All
Wings
right.
twitch. This is not. I could have walked with a little. Okay.
All right, so to the common room we go.
Yeah, I'll set her down in a chair in the common room.
Like gently or throw her in.
Just- this dragonborn empty. Yeet.
Yeet.
You ain't got no spell slots. Get
What
out of
was-
here.
All right. Whoop.
You blew
Just the
your
colors
2
of
your
loads for the
back.
day? Useless.
3 actually. Apparently, she used the action surgy one in her rod as well.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
All right, so we arrive back in the common room. Barrick kind of falls into a chair there. Sala stays beside him. Summer closes the door behind everyone. And he has a seat and a chair kind of against this wall. Just imagine that there's chairs kind of going around the walls. There's a couple of tables in the middle. But mostly it's seen as a kind of private discussion chamber.
So, did you guys who did those examinations and figured it was some kind of serpentine thing share any of that yet? Because I didn't hear anybody do so.
no, not while out there.
No. Yeah. I'll while we're walking back, I'll probably look like there wasn't any snake tracks or markings or anything like that. 'Cause that's what my guess would be. Y'all got any anacondas around here?
If that is the case,
No,
then
we don't.
we should make sure that neither of us are poisoned in some way.
So as you
Who are all these
discussing-
people?
Yeah, as you're discussing that, the pit stop crew makes their way in. They lift the collie up.
Your wings ready to go.
Yeah.
Rallies.
They come in and begin checking you over. They're doing the same to Barrick, and he's not really like shoving them off. He's letting them examine him, and they begin dressing wounds and kind of checking you for any major problems. And as they're looking you over, Kali, one of the younger maids says, You're not a normal Dragonborn, I can tell, and I don't have much experience with Dragonborn in general, but is this Is this bluey stuff normal for you?
Bluey.
Holly's going to look down and hope it's blood.
She takes out one of her mirrors in the med kit that she has and holds it up. And as you look in your reflection with that crazy look that you give, you see that there's a faint blue shimmer in your eyes.
Oh no.
No, it was supposed to have been gone.
All right. Is it a poison or a toxin? Is it something I should try and cleanse?
It is a curse.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't have the ability to remove a curse. So she begins to address the things that she can handle.
Not a psychological healer, dear.
So, in going over the rest of the wounds, you heal another 21 hit points.
All right.
As the house staff takes care of you, and Barrick is bandaged as well. Though they do take some blood out of his arm and inject something else into his arm.
The hell would I know what it is?
Give him a stim pack.
You probably wouldn't know, no, but you can definitely make a medicine check.
He's ready to fight the Zerg.
Insulin.
Hey, 21 total.
You don't know exactly what it was, but based off of how they were doing it, you assume that they were taking something bad out of that area, wherever that wound was, and then putting something there to cleanse it and heal it.
It's obviously something very recent.
Yeah, it has to do with the fight. Like they're cleaning it,
Oh, right.
cleaning out a wound, and
Right.
yeah. So they quietly talk to Barrick. You can try to listen in to what they're saying, with a high enough
Right.
perception.
You
But-
might have blue eyes too.
You're the only person that's being allowed close enough to be able to hear what they're whispering.
Oh, so I might as well just move closer then. Alright, let's see. $18 total.
Okay, so you hear mention something about toxin or poison, and that basically they had to get the antitoxin ready, which is what they injected.
And it's made then and there using this device.
No, it's something that they have on hand. Your family has a pretty large, not really pharmacy, but like a place that they keep all of their medical supplies in reserve.
Got it.
And antivenoms, antitoxins are something that they do keep there.
Whatever it is, it's definitely serpentine and it's poisonous or toxic. And we were somehow ready for it.
Well, it's
Or
due
just
to
a
the
generic.
magical nature of things. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
generic antivenom or antitoxin.
Alright, no worries. So someone's here. Still my sign of Yorvith or Mother. Deathius.
Not yet. I'll probably
yeah.
have them coming down soon, but I'm giving you guys a chance to talk first.
With Cohen outside, he doesn't notice anyone different or out of the ordinary.
No.
Is it possible to tell if anyone else has got affected by the blue eye stuff, like Kali?
So, looking around, you, being the not so awkward person that you are, if you're going off and checking everyone, you look into Saw's eyes, and they are indeed swirly with blue, very faint. And much to your delight, so are Akasha's.
What do you mean delight?
Oh, because you like bad things.
I definitely want to get Syria. Well, everyone up on that.
So, as you're about to inform everyone, Lady Celine rushes in. And she kind of brushes past. she looks quickly to Rhiannon, gives her a faint smile, and then rushes to Lord Barrick, and she kind of brushes the maids away. And looks him over, looks him in the eyes, and gives him a soft tap on the cheek. Not quite a slap, but, enough of one. But she looks very much like she was rushed. She doesn't have the kind of high nobility garb on. It's more of a casual nobility. And she gives him a hug and then looks back to Rhiannon. Is your friend okay? I came as fast as I could.
The collie looks at father. As okay as I can be. Oh, I guess he didn't hear me. Looks, yeah. She looks both at, looks at Carly, looks at Barrick, and just says, "As okay as I can be."
Okay. All right. So sorry. This is not how we wanted to be able to meet back up again. And Irovith. Kale. Is it Kyle? Or is
Kale.
it Kale? Okay. She says their names as they kind of enter briskly. Iorvith looks over to Barrick and gives him a nod as this room is quickly filling up. Kale, he glances over to Kali, then to Barrick, kind of across the room, taking in who else is here before focusing on you, Rhiannon. He gives a somewhat formal bow to keep up appearances.
Yeah, she'll give an equivalent bow, but not formal.
Yeah.
But definitely big hugs for mother.
Yes. Yeah, she's very hurriedly hugging and in the motherly rush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kiss
well,
on each cheek. Mwah, mwah.
as she's about to say something else, Celica, this is, of course, the time that you would probably choose to, and speak over the people who are trying to talk here. Of course, not really. Even though you were raised by nobility, you might as well have been raised by wolves.
Yeah.
So you have something important to say. What is it?
Yes.
Important.
Here we got a problem.
Big sigh.
Several people in the room look around for whoever Syria is, and then Rhiannon speaks up in response.
Yes, Evanor.
What's that?
What do you mean by my last name? What the fuck?
No. They hear you say Syria,
Yeah.
and they look around, and then Rhiannon responds, and they seem confused. Several people in the room seem confused at this.
That's just what I call her. This is what she. Anyway, yeah, problem. Need to talk for a brief minute. No. It's kind of a big thing. Or important, at least.
Someone moving like that, I don't like it.
Yeah, he's looking back and forth. He's kind of taking in. He seems jovial at what Celica just did as Lady Celine was about to talk, and Celica just like, something important, Assyria.
All right. Before I say anything, can I look in Syria and see she's got blue stuff in her eyes as well?
She does.
Fuck.
We all got
But
it.
but
She actually says that, by the way.
uh,
I just,
hers is very blue.
Oh shit.
Not just because of the electrical like flashing and crackling. It's just like a very vivid shimmer that flitters back and forth. And of course, when you say "fuck," the room goes like dead quiet. Well, I'll just be excusing myself. Call me if you need me. As Summer leaves,
Bus.
vulgar people.
and the several of the staff leave. Of course, they're done looking over Barrick and Callie, but they get the sense that this room is best not left public. The Orvith will stay.
As the ones who are leaving from college, did they take any like bloodied bandages or anything?
They do. They have them in a little box that they have brought with.
As they're taking them out, Kali's going to say, "You should dispose of those carefully.
We burn them all.
Make sure that wherever you burn them, you do not breathe in any of the fumes."
All right, thank you. They are hesitant now. Kale will step out with Summer, and Sala will also step out. And they're gonna be relaxing or just talking out here in the tunnel.
Relaxing, all cool.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Lord Barrick and Lady Celine are looking over to Rhiannon as Celica has appropriately cleared the room.
I somehow have that power.
Celica
You
speaks.
enter a room and
Nobody
everyone
wants to be
else
around.
So, yeah, as I was saying, we got a problem. Everyone's infected again.
You should check Lord Barrick as well.
Does he have the blue shimmer?
No.
Well, we were hurling around Kaiba shards, weren't we? Those cores.
Do I?
Yeah. I'll check Celica over, probably, definitely.
Yes. You won't want her to be left out.
Yay.
Something else that she would be depressed about.
I died to
Everyone's
get rid of
Blue
this.
Eye
now
Club
it's-
except me.
I mean, like, out of character, I thought the whole, like, one of the things we got Biesk for was to stop this.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop you from actually physically breathing in the crystal powder.
I mean, I guess.
And it helps your mental resistance. I mean, it doesn't stop us from getting it.
True. But it does seem as though you've got it the worst, Syria.
Hmm. Is not good.
I'm in danger.
Rhiannon has it though.
No, I do.
Yes.
Yes,
You're
you are,
Rhiannon.
yeah.
Yeah, then.
I thought you
Seneca may
said
call you. Seneca may call you Syria, but everyone else calls you Rhiannon.
I think Kali asked about that at one point, and you gave basically the same response you just gave to them, which was, "I just call her that." And Kali was just like, "Okay."
Because that explains it.
you.
Like, I know you just called her that. I heard you. That was my question. No, don't worry. It's just my name.
It'll be a discussion for another time. Yeah. I don't know why you got it worse though. I mean, if it was from the crash, wouldn't we all be at the same?
What are you talking about?
Seems
Right.
mine seems I'm more afflicted with it than the rest of you.
I still don't know what I'm talking
I
about.
have a theory about that.
Do tell.
Telepathically, Rhiannon is like, "Are you fine with me obviously it's in Kali's voice. Are you fine with me revealing to your parents about this dragon spirit you are bonded with?
Hmm.
So she's fine with that.
Yeah, you can if you want.
If it is what we dealt with before, then it is the curse of Kyber that afflicts typically dragons and sometimes dragonborn, though dragons are usually the ones who are most affected, especially when they take actions outside of Argonessen. It is one of the reasons that the dragons try their best not to interfere elsewhere, because it gives. And Kali's reluctant to say the name, but just says it gives her more power.
So
If you are bonded to a dragon spirit or a dragon soul, then it could have more of a hold on you than the others,
so
except
Akasha,
for me.
Akasha, the good news that's coming out of all of this is you have just been informed that you have some sort of crazy dragon disease.
Yes.
I can see her
Yay.
like a schoolgirl.
And the only
Like,
known
I
cure is
haven't-
death
Pernobulation.
and being electrocuted. And pernobulation, yes.
Pernobulation. Which is
Which
a
is
I
30%
hear
just-
about
chance.
pernobulation, though, right?
Pernobulation is a fancy word for death.
Yeah, it's like a 72% chance of death.
When it's with us, it's 100%.
No, it was 100% chance of death. It's just a couple of people made it back afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carly being one of them.
At great expense, as I recall.
We also did it on K9, which worked.
Well, K9 died and was only brought back because we had the foresight to have someone from House Jarasco on that.
Do I know anything about this, like just from hearing what they're talking about?
You've heard the pernobulator, but thought it was a joke. That Dr. Pernod, one of the Moorgrave University professors, was working on a way to revive people who recently passed. Though there was only rumor as to how it's been done, and a lot of people were jokingly saying that, oh yeah, well, he just, gets people struck by lightning and then they're back. But they're talking very seriously about this.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna be she's like a little bit preoccupied with that, like that this is real. did Cully say that she was pernobulated? Or
Pernobulated.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she went under pernobulation.
You had that really happen to you?
Yes, and then I believe Rhiannon called down lightning to strike, and that is what brought me back.
She's doing like the math lady face.
All the stories are true.
That's not how any of this works. So, this is a lot for Barrick and Celine to unpack. They chime in with, so you have this sickness, and the only known cure is death.
I was unaware we had it.
Well,
I had
supposedly, it's a cure for it. Yes.
That is the only one that we are aware of.
See this, and as he's like about to lay into you, Lady Celine puts her hand on him, and she says, "Don't get worked up. You might pass out again." And he goes red in the face, but doesn't say another word. You can see his signature vein protruding in his forehead. You have not escaped his wrath.
Not yet. Well, this is the cost of experience.
I believe in you and your friends. I think you can get it taken care of. You've already, conquered it one time. The second time should be easier.
I hope so, Mother. I hope so. Now, to the matter at more closely at hand. Whatever.
I'm sorry to interrupt what you're wanting
What?
to talk about, but and she holds her finger up, pointing towards Saw, but hides it behind her other hand, and kind of whispers, "Is she a pirate?"
Looked at back at Mother. I believe she was at one point, yes.
Sal's just like leaning against the wall, digging in her nose.
Yeah, like sort of like signal for Sa to come over. Stop standing over there by yourself, you loner.
In the background, can like Akasha like sort of come out of her trance of trying to figure out how
Yes.
the pernobulation could be real, like get a tissue out for Saw.
Yes.
She just flicks it.
Ugh. It hits one of the paintings.
Akasha's gonna try to like get it off the painting with the tissue.
Eorvith is just like, he's just making it like, oh, so gross kind of face. But Lady Celine is very clearly amused, and like you can see she's making that face of like, this is so cool. She's always wanted to meet a pirate.
A merfolk pirate, especially.
Yeah. Sorry, you get back to it. We'll be over here, listening, and waiting for your, if you want my advice. Eorvith's just gonna lean against the wall and wait.
Yeah, well. Something certainly is. Sorry, excuse me. Missing, causing gaps in our memory.
Hold on a minute.
Where is the foul beast? I will slay it.
The outlier here, though, is Lord Beric. It is making
this
no
just
sense.
Kali, this just happens.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Kali has become inured to this kind of insanity.
Okay.
She just continues on as if Gaius did not
As
just
if
bust
nothing happens, yeah.
Do you know where it is?
in. If I did, I would have already shot it as many times as I could with magic. Which I think I did, I'm not certain. It's
That is
possible
the
I
problem.
banished
You
it.
tried to use magic instead of might.
Well, I don't think Lord Beric fared
Mother,
any better
father.
with might.
Eorvith,
Walks away as you're talking.
By
Payback.
the
where?
blood of
Where was it?
Genesis.
And Beric very flatly says, the estate forest. But I will slay it!
People look out for snakes.
Open these gates! Open them!
He's like
He's just
lifting
like
them
the
with his
monkey
hand.
on the chains.
Yes. Let me out! Before were so rudely interrupted, Kali.
If the memory issue had anything to do with the curse of Kyber, then Lord Beric should not have been affected. So this is something else entirely.
Something
Could-
new.
Yes.
Just a thought. Oh, never mind, I lost it.
Wow.
No, it didn't
How
pick up
in
when you started
character.
laughing.
What were we talking about?
Kali sort of looks over to Celica. Very well.
We're still talking
There
about
is.
right?
I do not know if this pertains to what has just occurred, but there is more to discuss when we have a moment, but perhaps now is not the time.
If you need privacy, we shall give you privacy.
We are in your household, I would not hide anything from you. Unless it was to safeguard someone else's privacy.
I believe it best if you stay, Father. If whatever
You-
this thing is related to the forest.
Very
We
well.
will need to know.
As you wish.
I do not know if it relates to the forest, but I was able to translate more of the verses of the Draconic prophecy while we were on the way here.
Celine
I had planned.
kind of does the hand small golf clap and like she's very thrilled.
I had planned to discuss them with you when we had a moment, but then whatever happened, happened. I have my thoughts and ideas on what they may or mean, but I do not wish to share them until I could get your own untainted opinions. She basically sort of like she makes a motion like she's reaching in her sleeve and then takes out just a piece of parchment. Those of you in the party, other than maybe Akasha, understand she basically took this out of her ring.
Well, unfortunately, all of their opinions are now going to be tainted.
Well, with the taint of Kyra, perhaps,
Yes.
but not with her actual interpretation. So she says they are two separate passages, though they may connect as much of the prophecy does. It is very difficult, regardless. And she reads it out. Gods shall sleep, and gods shall wake. Heavens will weep, and earth will shake. All is reaped and left at stake. Unto darkness deep does daylight break. I'm typing it up.
Thank you.
This one, I admittedly have less ideas about what it could mean, but the next, to some extent, I had dismissed it, but now that I am aware of what we have just found out, I am more convinced that I may have a bad inkling of what it may mean. Fire splinters lightning. What brings the end is met by the beginning. Above meets below, and the rending light breaks the fragile veil. I have some ideas upon these, as I have said, but I would wish for you, and she looks to Lord Barrick and Lady Celine, and as well if perhaps there's anything that may relate to your house or your dynasty that may have some bearing on this, to bring forth any ideas you may have.
Lord Barrick doesn't offhand think of anything other than the lightning having something to possibly do with it, but that could also mean, like, I don't know, House Lyrander.
Me as a player, I can't think of much because my head's still hurting.
To give more of a complete picture for you, Lord and Lady Inlaeus, there was also a dream that those who were stationed on the Argont had, that we all experienced as well afterwards, which was that there were two dragons fighting, a red and a blue, fire and lightning clashing together. Those aboard the Argont said that a coming eclipse would herald this. Was there anything else that I have forgotten that I would have explained to them in regards to the recent stuff?
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay.
And Lady Celine and Lord Barrick are thinking, but they don't seem to have any idea right at the moment.
So Kali looks to the rest of the party. Do any of you have any ideas as to what you think this may be interpreted as? And she'll get up out of the chair, and with the extra bandages wrapped on and stuff, she manages to make it over without much difficulty.
Could be Braylon means the red dragon, Jerome the blue, heavens weeping, lots of rain,
Turn around.
earth shaking, cataclysmic earthquake perhaps. Into darkness deep does daylight break. And perhaps, putting bluntly, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, amidst or a light that will penetrate the darkness we will find ourselves in.
The way I interpret the second one, Fire Splinters Lightning, it sounds like the battle between the red and blue dragon ends up being powerful enough that it directly opens into Kyber.
Sounds
Sounds
So
like
Kali-
a volcano.
Kali looks to Saw and Akasha to see if they have any other things. Saw, you just said looks like a volcano.
Yeah. To me, it just sounds like a volcano.
Akasha's gonna be thinking out loud, like, above meets below. It makes me think of the layers of the world. God shall sleep and God shall wake. I think about what we learned with the about Dalcor. Unto darkness deep as daylight break, will the darkness engulf the world, but then be rescued by light?
So Kali's listening attentively and sort of nodding, and she is giving thought over what each person's saying. Do you have any further, Akasha?
I'm trying to think if, like, I do like a check on my own knowledge to know if any of this kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
a history check would work.
I can assist you with that.
Man, cool. What I was going to do next.
I rolled an 11 plus 1, so a 12.
Since you're being assisted, you get advantage.
Or do you want me to roll it since I get a +7?
Dang.
What's the difference if you roll?
Well, I get a +7.
Basically, Rhiannon's gonna be talking with you,
Yeah.
kind of helping
Yeah.
you jog your memory.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright, let's go. 18 +7. That is
24, isn't it?
25.
I was off by 1.
So